been almost a year since my last video. In that time, I've fully rebuilt the engine, given the Land Rover a facelift, and a fresh coat of paint. You may remember Ben from the last vlog. Once a year he comes over from Australia to visit, and it's becoming tradition for us to head away in the Land Rover together. It's also becoming tradition for the Land Rover to shit the bed every time. As we head into Hamner Springs, we pull over for a quick drink with an old friend. So this will be the Land Rover's first proper trip away since the rebuild. And I must admit, I'm extremely nervous. I've never rebuilt an engine before in my life. And I'm the worst mechanic that I know. And traditionally, it wouldn't be a Land Rover trip for Ben if something didn't go wrong. For this reason, I've chosen quite a popular area, so that if we do get into trouble, we can always hitch a lift into town. The rain over the last few days had washed out the road. This bloke on the digger was doing the Lord's work. After about a 5-minute wait, we were back on the way. I always check the bonnet-mounted tyre these days. I just have visions of it flying off. Did not give this river crossing the due diligence it deserved. The whole thing was quite steamy. I was definitely in the wrong gear, but that's alright, made it through.
Very lucky.
Alright, carrying on. Oh, I knew it. As the night closed in around us, we still had a few k's to go before we'd reach the hut. We found ourselves in low range, trundling up some of the steepest hills I've ever been up, with rather a big drop off to the side. The first hut we tried was occupied, so we carried on. At about 11 o'clock at night, we reached our destination. It wasn't that cold for a summer's evening, but Ben's Australian, so of course we had to light the fire. And with one enamel mug full of whiskey, I was not complaining. Day 2 and Ben's nervousness was starting to show. Nothing a quick smell check couldn't put to rest though. This rough power company road gives you access to one of the most beautiful but rugged areas of New Zealand's wilderness. The lakes and rivers are clear, the mountains are full of game for hunters, and the weather up here is normally pretty bad. But today we're lucky. So we headed back down the valley in search of a spot to free camp for the night. So this was the part of the road that gave me the shits last night. I've never seen a reflection on this lake before. I've been here a few times, but it's normally way too windy. There's a campsite here too, but it seemed pretty busy, so we decided to move on. Feldon Shelter recently hooked me up with this incredibly fancy tent. My initial thoughts on it are quite good. Having said that, I've been bribed, so you probably shouldn't trust anything I say. I'll do a more in-depth look at it once I've used it a few more times, but it's easy to put up, and I really like the way it frames the landscape when you're sitting inside. The mattress they include with it is definitely on the firm side, and I'm more of a squishy mattress kind of bloke, so I'm probably going to get a mattress topper just for that extra little bit of luxury. And before you have a crack at me about being soft, come and take a ride in Series Land Rover cross country, and then we can talk. turned the truck towards home, grateful that nothing had gone wrong yet, and hopeful that the journey home would be a smooth one. If you're still here, I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a comment below and tell me what you want to see more of in the next vlog. And if you like my content, consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time. So I just got home and discovered there was a little bit of brake fluid splattered around the back of the rear right hand wheel, and I've just whipped off the brake drum, and the brake cylinder on the rear right hand side has failed. So here's the culprit here. It basically fell apart in my hands when I took the shoes out, so that brake cylinder is done. But it went in about 2 or 3 years ago, second hand, because we were in a pinch and couldn't get a new part. So it's actually done alright. Yeah, truck was still stopping, but I did notice about 15 minutes from home the brakes started to feel a little bit odd. So really pretty lucky. And also I need a new alternator, because shut the truck off and the battery warning light came on. So waited about an hour, went and felt the alternator, and it's warm. So basically what's happening there, I've just learned, is that the battery is sending current to the alternator, and the little voltage controller on the alternator is not doing its job, so it's allowing that voltage to turn the coil in the alternator into a heater basically. So yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work. Again, last day of the trip, managed to get home. Nice. And I have an alternator on order from Paddocks, so I guess I must have felt this coming.